Thanks for staying tuned. I'm Colin Abrams with the HGP Sportscast. Sports authorities are confident that Guyana will get the nod as one of the official host venues for this year's Women's 2020 World Cup. This is according to Director of Sport, Christopher Jones. The country has put in a bid for the government-owned national stadium to host matches during the November 3 to 24 showpiece and believes the odds are in its favor.
In the latter end of 2017, Guyana, through the Guyana Cricket Board, would have officially submitted a bid to be one of the host countries for the T20 Women's World Cup in November. Based on our assessment, Guyana is in a very good position to likely to be one of the countries to host the Women's World Cup.
Christopher Jones, Director of Sport. The Sports Department is currently awaiting the final word from the international body. The ICC body, as part of a Caribbean tour, visited Guyana in November 2017 to inspect the stadium.
We passed the inspections with flying colors, if I could say that, because essentially our stadium has been well maintained. The staff members that we got up there maintained the condition of the stadium.
However, Jones said the stadium needs some minor repair.
Some structural problems that we got with some of the stands, which essentially we inherited as a result of the initial construction that was had. Because of the location of the stadium, the Demerara River, the salty air and so forth, and the type of material that was used at the time when the stadium was being built, we're having some structural problem as it relates to that. But over the years, we have been doing remedial works to correct those, but those are about the only issues that we have, which in itself wouldn't hinder the hosting of the World Cup in any way.
The National Stadium at Providence was one of 11 venues inspected by the International Cricket Council last November in preparation for the upcoming tournament. Venues in Barbados, Trinidad and Tobago, St. Lucia, Jamaica, Antigua and St. Kitts were all visited by the ICC team. In order to host games during the tournament, the country will have to meet several prerequisites, like ensuring the erection of a relay screen at the stadium. 8 countries, South Africa, England, Australia, India, New Zealand, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, and title holders West Indies have already qualified for the showpiece. Bangladesh, Ireland, Netherlands, New Guinea, Scotland, Uganda, and 2 Asia qualifiers will vie for the 2 remaining spots, courtesy of a qualifier in the Netherlands next June. Chris Gayle likely among surprising non-retentions for the Royal Challengers Bangalore as franchises get ready for the IPL player auction on January 27 to 28. More by Stanford Howard.
On Thursday, the 8 franchises participating in the 2018 edition of the Indian Premier League confirmed the players they sought to retain for the 11th season of the lucrative T20 League. Some picks were obvious, some surprising. Royal Challenger Bangalore has not gone for Chris Gayle, who with 3,420 runs from 91 matches stands at second in their all-time table, and who in 2012 and 2013 won the Orange Cap for most runs in a season. Gayle's exploits in an RCB jersey feature a record 5 centuries, a record score of 175 not out, and the most sixes, a whopping 263, while Gayle was disappointed in the last IPL season with just 1/2 century in 9 innings. The big-hitting opener enjoyed success in other leagues in 2017. Most recently, he hit a record 18 sixes during his unbeaten 146 for Rampur Riders in the Bangladesh Premier League final. Gayle scored 485 runs in the BPL at a strike rate of 176.36. Prior to that, he collected 376 runs in the Caribbean Premier League, hitting 4 50s in 11 innings. While it was not surprising to see Royal Challenge Bangalore retaining their skipper Virat Kohli and AB de Villiers, or Kolkata Knight Riders retaining the West Indian pair of Sunil Narine and Andre Russell. 2-time IPL winner Kolkata Knight Riders did not retain the man who led them to glory in 2012 and 2014, Gambhir. Chennai Super King didn't make a push for Ashwin and Dwayne Bravo, like Dhoni and Rani, 2 players who took the franchise to IPL titles and 2 Championship League T20 victories. Bravo twice topped the bowling chart in the IPL in 2013 and 2015, while Ashwin has been a key figure in the franchise bowling since the league began in 2018. Reporting for the AGP Sportscast, I'm Stanford Howard.
Thank you, Stanford. The Aussies continued their dominance over the Englishmen on the first day of the 5th test of the Ashes in Sydney. More by Stanford.
In a rain-hit first day of the final test match of the Ashes series, the English, looking to save themselves from humiliation, won the toss and elected to bat. The Aussies bowlers, with a point to prove, had the Englishmen on the back foot in the afternoon session, after Mark Stoneman was caught by Payne, leaving the English on 28 for 1. A third-wicket partnership by Alastair Cook and James Vince was formed, as they managed to hold off the Aussies' bowling attack for 60 runs, before Pat Cummins picked up his second wicket for the afternoon session. Cook followed shortly after leaving the English on 95 for 3. Skipper Joe Root and Don Manning brought 104 runs for the fourth-wicket partnership that stabilized their first innings. Skipper Root was the next Aussies victim after the drinks break, and Johnny Bairstow followed the next over, leaving the English at 233 for 5 at stumps. For AGP Sportscast, I'm Stanford Howard.
Thank you, Stanford. American Satia Vickery of Guyanese roots surprised many and is now in the quarterfinals of the Auckland Open tennis tournament after negotiating her way through the earlier rounds. Vickery, who made it through the qualifying rounds for the main draw of the tournament, defeated Paraguay's Veronica Rogue 6-2, 6-4 to advance on Wednesday. She will now face world number 4 Azika Rwanska in the quarterfinals. This will be her longest run in any tournament since she played professional tennis after sealing a wild card in 2013 when she won the USTA National Junior Championships. And finally, WADA announces the 2018 list of prohibited substances and methods now in force ahead of the upcoming Pyeongchang Winter Olympics. The list was first published on September 29, 2017 and took effect January 1, 2018. The list, which is one of 6 international standards, are mandatory for all signatories of the World Anti-Doping Code, designates what substances and methods are prohibited, both in and out of competition, and which substances are banned in a particular sport. The list's annual revision process is led by WADA, beginning with an initial meeting in January and concluding with a publication of the list by October 1. This is an extensive 9-month consultation process that includes WADA's list expert group gathering information, circulating a draft list among stakeholders, taking their submissions into consideration, and revising the draft, followed by a review by the agency's Health, Medical, and Research Committee. The HMR Committee then makes its recommendation to WADA's Executive Committee that approves the list during its September meeting. For a substance or method to be added to the list, it must be determined that it meets 2 of the following 3 criteria. 1, it has the potential to enhance or enhances sport performance. 2, it represents an actual or potential health risk to the athletes. Or 3, it violates the spirit of sport. To view the changes made in the 2018 prohibited list as compared to 2017, visit www.wada-ama.org. And that has brought us to the end of this edition of the HGP Sportscast. Before we go, remember, adversity causes some men to break and others to break records. Goodbye.